right?
And I'm Deontay B.
And welcome to Gwen's Business Corner with Deontay B, the Facebook show. Hey, y'all.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
It's your birthday. It's my birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Oh, we just had a moment too.
Right. So it's my birthday today, you all.
I know. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
We have had so many birthdays together.
I know. I just love my birthday.
I know, me too. Because you used to throw the best party.
Can you believe I'm not having a party this year?
I know, man.
Yeah, that
I'm
age.
sad.
That age, girl, that age. We won't party enough, Jesus.
I mean, 21-year-olds should always have a party.
Girl, I'll always be 21, that's for sure, okay? Can y'all believe I am 41 years old today?
I know, right?
41. Thank you, Lord.
That's a blessing.
Thank you, Lord.
That is a blessing.
Oh, God, when I think about my life, like, and the things that God have allowed me, oh, Jesus. Well, the things God has allowed me to achieve in these 41 years, my God, my God.
Amazing.
My God.
I mean, it's exciting because today we're talking about laying the foundation.
Yes.
And I just remember, I mean, you have laid so many foundations, but let's just talk about our meat and potatoes when you laid the foundation of Expert Tax Service.
Yes, right? That
Because you were
entrepreneur
a
journey.
young entrepreneur.
Right. And you know, GBC wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that foundation.
I know, Reach for Your Dreams wouldn't be here. I mean, so many things.
So many things. And you know what? At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, again, we talked about it on the last couple of shows, right? I know. I'm trying to hold back my tears. Like, we talked about on the last couple of shows about really the growth and how you grow in business. And this year I celebrated 13 years as an entrepreneur. I did start in my 20s at a pretty young age, and I'm still standing today. And the things that we've been able to launch out from the day one of starting Expert Tax Service, you know, at the end of the day, it's literally about your foundation and how you lay it. And I think we have to be able to build and get outside of our own ways when it comes to doing business and doing things outside of the box. And I think the guests today, what I like about them is, you know, we have a lot of different guests on here, don't get me wrong, but I think the areas that we're talking about and that they're in are absolutely amazing. They're different areas. I'm excited the most. I'm just not gonna lie. I'm excited the most because we have someone that's coming on that work with government contracts. Right.
And you love to talk about
I love to talk about it. And the first time I seen her and I met her, I was just like, okay, I can't wait to get her on the show. And that was almost a year ago, right? And the thing about it is what I say, even with the guest that's actually going to be on the show, like we think so short-wise when it comes to our businesses and building businesses. And then we think about like what really actually make you stay in business longevity, right? And like at the level that we are now, you know, my mindset is, okay, I need to be operating and doing things with the government, right? Because they got plenty of money to pay me, right? I still work with, you know, regular people, but they got some long money, they can cut some big checks. So I think that's important. And like I said, the other two guests, their professions and the things that they're doing are absolutely amazing too. So I can't wait to jump in. And so I know it's my birthday. We can't talk about my birthday all day, girl. But let's get to these guests, okay?
Right, because we have Mr. Impossible.
Yes,
and with a name like that, it's just like, he can't wait. He can't help but give us that knowledge. And
then we have Mrs. Chandra Moore. She is the founder of COG Studio. And I can't even say the word. Y'all know I have a speech problem. Y'all didn't know I have a speech problem. So say the word, what she do. Tell what type of design?
Well, Chandra is an architectural designer of 20 years.
And then lastly, what I talked about, we have Mrs. Amy Reese, who is the founder of ARC Solutions, and she is helping women get certified through the government, but also she's helping people get government contracts. So I can't wait to talk to her. So our first guest is Mrs. I hope I should say her name right. Chandra Moore. Come on, Chandra. Hey, lady.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
welcome to the corner.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me.
Now don't get alarmed. Now I might have some breakouts when I think about it's my birthday.
And then I might have one too.
That's right.
We be twinning sometimes.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. So let's jump into it. Okay, so we was really excited about yours as well because it's something ain't too many people around here doing, right?
That's right.
Okay, so you have to tell the viewers. Okay, Didi, I'm sugarcoating off you. You gotta say the word because I want to say the word. So tell the viewers what is
An architectural designer.
So, what an architectural designer is we are people who build buildings, basically, or residential spaces. But we went to school for architects, and you're either on the tech side or you're on the designer side. So, at the end of the day, we all become, fluent in architecture and helping build the country.
So do you do like what they call them, schematics? Whatever.
Schematic design.
Girl, I used to build refrigerators in my other life.
Yeah.
So I used to have to work with the engineers as far as the design
That's
for the
right.
different refrigerators. So do you actually lay out the design for, say, I think you say you work with hotels and different things like that. So do you do the artwork when it comes to what it's going to look like?
Yeah, so we do all of the drawings. So what happens in a normal setting is that we'll, an owner or developer will hire us. We'll go out on the site. Sometimes it's a new build. Sometimes it's an existing building. And then we kind of come up with an imagination of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, making sure we're solving the problem. Because that's all architects are. We are problem solvers. So we just solve the problem. There's an issue, and we solve the problem. And then from there, we work a lot with contractors. We have a great team. We have interior designers in our field. And those are the people who love, doing all the finishing, the picking of the paint, the colors, and things of that nature. I'm not really good at that. I've been doing architecture, so I like to get my hands dirty with HVAC and things like, how the building is ran. And then
I know. I guess I've been in this game for a long time. I just know HVAC.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm learning. But I do know about the artist.
Yes.
Okay.
She's an artist.
Yeah.
Right. She is.
So you have your business. You're the founder of COG Studio. So what was the inspiration behind the name COG Studio? And what were the steps that you took in its business development? Because I know you're an architect, which means, like you just said, you do all types of things. It was just like my mind was just like mumbling all kind of stuff, like going crazy when you were talking about it. So tell me the inspiration.
Well, the inspiration behind COG Studio was that, I've been in architecture field for 20 years. So because I've been in it so long, we all, after a while, all of us are kind of great, at what we do.
Right.
So how do I become that idea of the catalyst of a different person?
Okay.
So as a cog, we're like that cog in a wheel where we aren't trying to solve everything, but we're trying to do what we do very well. And so what we do very well is hospitality, hotels. We do a ton of multifamily. I'm originally from San Francisco, and then I lived in Europe, and then I did Tennessee, and then I did Detroit, and now I'm here.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is amazing.
So, what would be some of the services that you offer through your business?
So we offer anyone who is interested in doing a hotel, a boutique hotel, or things of that nature. We do healthcare spaces as well, daycare. We do quite a few. We do quite a few celebrity homes as well. So everyone calls us for that, and that's a certain type of niche that we've gotten into. And then as well as multifamily. So our bread and butter is a lot of multifamily. So you'll see us traveling across the entire country, doing apartments.
So you do a lot of I guess it would be development of different properties.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll go to a site. It's dirt, and when it's going up, that's what we've drawn on paper, and you'll see me out there on construction site yelling at all the guys. And yeah.
Wow. I gotta be.
That's a fun job.
Look, and then I'm like, dang, I hope I can afford it. I gotta be able to get some built.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a fun job. it's stressful, but yes. It's
Yeah,
fun.
because I mean, you're making the person that's making the vision come
That's
true.
right.
Like they may have the idea in their mind and then tell you that you actually have to draw it and make it reality.
Yes, and there's a huge clash between architects and contractors. So I try very hard to massage the two. Because imagine, an African American woman walking out.
I can only imagine,
like
like
a ton of men.
Oh, girl,
it's not fun.
I can only imagine. And then I would imagine that. I would imagine like you have to like be a really strong woman just to be in that profession because just going back to the refrigerators now that I think about it.
I know you had an aha moment.
I literally had an aha moment because I was thinking about like when I first started working and I used to build refrigerators and I've never just been a regular worker. I've always went up and beyond. Yeah. And so even in that, I used to work with the engineers to help them find mistakes because I just was nosy or whatever. Yes. But they used to always look at me crazy because I was a young black woman and they gave me, Lord. But that's why I can handle it now. Yeah. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, because she's dealing with the contract. Right. They know it all. Right. But she's actually the brain. So it's like, I don't want to talk to the brain.
Right. And I don't want her telling me because I think I'm smart.
Right. Can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But we make it work.
Okay.
We make it work.
So tell us, what are some tools and resources that you can provide to someone that's seeking longevity in architectural design, like to build that financial stability in that field?
I would say definitely find a firm that, is will help you grow and will help you succeed because to get to the different levels, it's very difficult and it's very long, it's a very long process. And it's something that you just definitely have to have a love and passion for. Okay. And so I think as far as financial, everyone, we always tell even our students, because I also am a professor at some schools, in Detroit. And we always tell the students, don't join this profession for the money, because it's definitely for the passion. You eventually, yes, you'll get there. I believe that if you're good at what you do, you can make money doing anything, right? Like literally anything. And so I really believe that. And so in architecture, it's the same thing. I think if you really love what you're doing, and you want to be that person and that drive, if you do well in drawing, go for it. Like, don't let anyone tell you differently, because there's only 467, I think now, African-American licensed women that are in the country.
Wow. That's crazy.
Small.
Right. Look, some of your college students might need to change your major.
Right. And you know what? That's my next question, because when I seen it, I was like, let me write this down. Because you have so many kids that are talented in drawing.
That's right.
Right? And then we limited them to being an artist. Yeah. Drawing pictures, being a starving artist, I call it, right? Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times when they go out there, and because it's a starving industry, like you can be very successful in it. I know a lot of people that are artists that are very successful in it. But a lot of times they run away from it because they don't see enough options out there, and the schools are not teaching them what they can actually do with their artistic skill. So what would your advice be to parents that have kids that seem to be artistic and they need to find somewhere to put that skill when it comes to going to major, say they're going off to college, like what should they major in? How can they feed into that seed and that gift that they have? Because as parents, like they kids, they play basketball and sports and stuff like that, and so we know how to feed into that skill because it's so known. But it's a lot of talented kids that know how to draw and have an artistic skill. So what would be your suggestions? Like,
I would tell the parents, so I'm a parent of 3, and my daughters, I have 2 daughters and 1 son, and they're into art. They're into artistic things. And I would encourage any parent that if they're seeing the child wanting to draw and doing the drawings, that introduce Legos as well. Like, if it just depends on the age, right? So I would definitely introduce the Lego theory and have that be a possibility. There's also organizations, even here in Atlanta, which is one of the largest ones, it's National Organization of Minority Architects. And they are an amazing group. They get together, and it's a lot of us architects. They're all in New York, and they're coming back from the NOMA, is what we call it, the conference. And so that's one way that I think that they can get involved. Also, one of my really good friends, he is part of Hip Hop Architect. And if you just Google him, you'll see the things that he's doing with helping teach the kids how to put the hip hop into the idea of architecture. So there's quite a few of us out here that are trying to break the barrier and to teach the children about it. But I would encourage every parent to just, don't be afraid, because at the end of the day, people always say, oh, you have to know math. Well, you really don't. Like math, you're going to get it. You have an engineer to help it. I mean, I'm married to an engineer, so at the end of the day, you'll have that. You work together as a team. So I would encourage every parent, like if they want to be an artist, push them that way, and if they want to be able to do the designs for the drawings, because that's where I live. There's a design sector, and then there's a technical sector, right? Where everyone's just technical, like in the computers, right? And then there's a contractor that you could go on the site. So I've been blessed to go through the entire process. And I live on the other side where everyone wants to see my drawings and my designs, to a certain scale.
Wow, that's amazing.
I like it.
So tell the viewers how they can keep, because you have different programs, like you said, as well for children.
That's right.
So tell the viewers how they can find you and how they can, tap into some of the great projects that you have going on.
Yeah, so they can find me by going to C Moore Banks. That's my IG. Also, COG Studio is also my IG.
Okay.
And they can find me there, and we can kind of go from there. But feel free to DM me or anything. I'm happy. I speak at a ton of career sectors for the schools, and so I'm excited to be here in Atlanta now. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate you coming to the show, and you just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. You guys too.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was great. That was amazing.
It was amazing. And I just want to add on to the parents. It's important. If your kids do know how to draw, make sure that you explore different career paths for them, because the schools sometimes are very limited, and then they don't even know that they have those options out there. Okay, so what we got next?
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. And we have, drum roll please, D. Keith Brown. He is a winner of a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, a world speaker, and an education consultant.
Come on, Mr. Keith M. Brown.
Yes. Mr. I'm Possible.
Hello.
Yes,
And
welcome to the corner.
I'm glad to be in the corner. And first of all, not just happy birthday, but happy worth day, because you are worth it.
Okay.
And your viewers need to know that they are worth it, but you have to define your it.
Okay, I love it.
Yes.
Mr. M. I'm Possible.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just jump in it.
Absolutely.
So tell us what Mr. I'm Possible is, and how did you decide to brand yourself as Possible?
Well, I did not actually brand myself. I was branded by the young people of America,
Okay.
primarily in the Sickle Cell Foundation.
Oh, wow.
Because many times our young people, they carry the burden of impossible and the impossibilities. And I always talked about the I'm possibilities. And so those young people branded me Mr. I'm Possible. And I believe that our young people should lead us. And so I walked into that realm. I walked into that space. And now I'm internationally known, nationally recognized, and locally accepted as Mr. I'm Possible. So it's not impossible. It's I'm Possible. Absolutely.
I like it.
Yes, and his voice is like, you just stop.
Like, right, you're going to pay attention to what
And
he's
listen.
saying. Like,
Yes.
Thank
And I was just
you.
like, when he started talking, I was like, boom.
Thank you.
So you have created the I'm Possible Institute,
Absolutely.
where you train entrepreneurs, authors, speakers.
Yes.
You train everybody. And like you said, you're nationally global.
Absolutely.
So what was the development process when you developed this institution?
Well, at the end of the day, I was coaching and training informally before the Institute was actually developed and came into fruition.
Okay.
Because there were just tons of individuals who were saying things like, Mr. Brown, can I pick your brain? Mr. Brown, do you want to go to lunch? And at some point, I just got tired of people picking my brain. Right, you understand? Because the more you allow people to pick your brain, you lose brain cells.
Yes.
Right.
And so they had to invest. And so we opened up the I'm Possible Institute for professional development, personal development, educators, entrepreneurs, speakers, and authors. And we started from the premise of mindset mastery, because you have to master your mind. And one of our signature programs is do be or not do be.
Okay.
You see, Shakespeare said to be or not to be, but we said do be or not to be. And that simply means that there are a plethora of people that can do things.
Right.
Everyone is talented. They can do this, they can do this, but can you be? And when we say can you be positive? Can you be cordial? Can you be a networker? Are you willing to build relationships, partnerships, scholarship, mentorship to reduce the hardships? And so at the I'm Possible Institute, we understand when you come to us, you're talented and you can do, but we teach you how to be. Because if you can simply do, that simply means you're talented. But if I can teach you to be, that means you are gifted. And when you are gifted, people will invest and so into your life.
That's powerful. He just sold me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Come to the Institute.
I'm like, why you sign me up at school?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
That was amazing.
So you are a world speaker.
Absolutely.
So tell us, because, speaking is one of those professions out here today that everybody think they can do.
Oh, yes.
But a lot of people, of course, is not being trained.
Right.
So what are the biggest challenges that you face in the beginning of you starting out as a speaker? And what is your recommendations to people who want to be a speaker?
Well, one of the major obstacles and hurdles and challenges was the fact that I was transitioning from the field of education. And so I'm a former educator and speech director and drama director as well. And so when I stepped out on faith 20 years ago, and I literally stepped out on faith, I leaped off the mountain and I grew my wings on the way down. And so there were clients who saw me as educator. They did not see me as a professional speaker. So that was one of those challenges and obstacles I had to overcome. But when you know your purpose, then you accept those challenges. When you know your purpose, you be passionate about it. And that's what I did. So not because of the challenges, in spite of the challenges, I kept going, I kept glowing, I kept growing, because at the end of the day, I taught in one school and one college in one city. And so now I speak in a global classroom. All right, with partnerships in England and Barbados and the Virgin Islands and the Dutch Caribbean and Canada and on and on and on, because this is a global mission. I teach my clients about global interfacing, because at the end of the day, you have to live local, but you think global. You have to live local, but you have to think global. And so that is the premise. That is the premise behind the I'm Possible Institute. That's how I overcome the challenges, because I believe there are only two great days in your life. Right. When you were born and when you discover why you were born. And when you discover why you were born, that is your purpose. So you can take Gwen and you can make Gwen a genuine, wondrous, empowered nurturer. That's who you are. I love that down-homeness about you. Then you have Deontay, and then you take her, and she is a dazzling, empowered, optimistic, noble, transformational advocate, and the B is for brilliance. And so when I can teach my clients what their name means, what your name stands for, then they walk in that. And once they're able to walk in that, then we tell them, get rid of that plan B. We tell our young people every day, you need to have a plan B. We tell clients, you need to have a plan B. You don't need a plan B. You need a plan 1A, a plan 2A, a plan 3A. See, my plan A is speaking. And if I know it's God-given, I'm not going to fail. So I don't need a plan B. You need a plan 1A, 2A, 3A. That's how you were able to do the tax services, right? That's another stream of income. That's a 1A. You in the entertainment industry, you're hosting, but you're entertaining, you're doing all of that. We teach that at the I'm Possible Institute. We teach teach young people how to master their mind, how to walk in their purpose, how to walk in their gift. So then you can say, not impossible, I'm possible. And what's the difference between impossible and I'm possible, ladies? The apostrophe. The apostrophe.
Yes.
See, if you take that apostrophe and you put it between the I and the M, impossible turns into what? I'm possible. So it's the little things that count. A little apostrophe can turn your life around. What are some of the little things your viewers need to do? Stay away from negative people. Stay away from negative communication. Stay away from toxic thoughts.
Right.
Stay away from anything that can infect your life and hang around those things that affect your life.
So powerful.
It was.
Because it was just like, damn, you just read us, and I'm like,
I felt like we was at one of these
I'm
together.
like, how you do that? Because
He just moved the whole studio.
right. I'm like, okay, yo. I love that because the encouragement is powerful, and then really is that really speaking in life and things that you want into existence when it's all said and done, and being confident in it, and you can just tell how confident you are, but then not only that, what you give to the people that are around you, that same confidence.
Well, he already answered my next.
Okay, I think he might answer all
But
of
I
them.
want you to say this. From the confidence standpoint, it's not just something that manifested on its own. I'm a former special ed student. Okay, I was labeled special ed. There were teachers who told me you talk too much. Now I get paid to talk. And so I tell young people and children across the globe, if you've been labeled special needs or LD or ADHD, you're not dumb, you're not stupid. You are brilliant. You just learn at a different level.
Right.
And that's very important that we continue to speak life, not strife, into our young people. And so once again, that mindset mastery. So people always ask, we saw you on television. How do you do it? How do you get on television? How do you get on radio? I'm the speaker. So that's not what I do. I don't get myself on television. I don't get myself on radio. I have the best publicist on the planet. Adrian Alexander Allen, the IPY agency. Do you understand? So when I want to be positioned to be in multimedia, radio, television, she handles that. Her PR team, they handle that, the IPY agency. So I don't have to put that on my plate. I can concentrate on liberating people, elevating people. That's what I have to concentrate on. So I'll tell all entrepreneurs out there, you have to surround yourself with gifted individuals that can take your brand to the next level. Stop trying to do it all. You all are on the set. You're not filming today. You have brilliant individuals behind the cameras. You have someone who greets us when we come into the studio. You all don't do that. You have individuals who do that. So you have to find your lane, do that which you're great at. And at the Impossible Institute, we teach you to surround yourself with an award-winning team. And your team has to have enthusiasm, because when you catch on fire with enthusiasm, people will come for miles to watch you burn. And that's very powerful. So I don't just train individuals. I train school districts, colleges and universities, government agencies. So I got to talk to Amy as well. When you talked about those government contracts, I train government agencies. I'm a legislative speechwriter in the Georgia House of Representatives. So the same system that labeled me now helps to also pay my salary. Man, God is great, y'all. God is great. God is great and I'm possible. That's right. Yes.
You said a lot. So you answered a lot of questions on our thing. Like, you just really took it on out. So we want anyone who's watching who feel like they need your services, and a lot of y'all need his services, like
everybody.
Because we might need to go see those with the bees is, right? So tell them how they can find you, and if your institute or how to get to your institute is different, let them know that.
Absolutely. Well, you can find me at KeithLBrown.com. That's KeithLBrown.com. On Instagram at KeithLBrown_. Facebook, Keith L. Brown 1911, and Mr. Impossible. Twitter, Keith L. Brown 1911. With the IPY agency, the best PR firm, public relations publicist on the planet. That's what time it is. So listen, if you're looking for greatness, then you can find me. And by the way, you don't need me, you deserve me. See, that's it. You're right. You don't need me, you deserve me. Not impossible. Can we say I'm possible together?
I'm possible. Yeah.
What a birthday.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. I'm possible.
Yes.
Yes. And thank you for the gifts, by Wow.
Yeah, thank you for
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
We
Take care.
We wish we could just keep him.
I know, girl. He got us all crunk.
He got us like when Obama came into office and everybody was fired up and ready to go.
Ready to go.
Amazing. So we gotta take a breather because it's your birthday. I mean, he just had our energy on 100.
On 100.
So we just gotta keep it going because we know Amy Reese is just
About to bring those gems.
Yes,
She's about to bring those gems.
Award-winning business growth strategist. She's just amazing.
She is. And she knows about these government contracts. So y'all need to listen to her. Come on, Amy.
Yes.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, lady.
How you doing? Imagine us.
All kinds of sunshine up in here.
So, like I told them earlier in the show, like when I first met you, I don't even think I was introduced to you. I think when I went to the event, I seen you and was listening to you talk about the government contracts. I was like, oh, I knew then that I had to have you on the show because being in business and especially the growth that I'm trying to do and get in business, government contracts come up a lot. Right? And it's a lot of business owners who want to be able to bid and be out there to get those contracts, but it's very limited resources and education out there about what's the process. So let's start with it. So let's start with your company, right? So what was the inspiration behind you starting ARC Business Solutions?
You know, my passion is helping the underserved, right? I mean, that's just always been my heart. I spent about 23 years in corporate America. And when I left corporate America, I became a partner in another company, a real estate property management company. And it was during that journey, because I was in charge of the business development, right? The growth of the company. So real estate was really not my passion. I believe in it as a wealth vehicle, obviously, but not my passion, right? And so I was in this partnership and I was in charge of the business development and growing the company. And I was just used to working with what I call the big tickets, you know, not the onesie twosies, and no disrespect to the B2C, which is business to consumer. But I spent 20 something years B2B and B2G. Right? Business to government and business to business, where you are able to capture, you're doing the same work really, but you're capturing a much bigger revenue value for your work. Yes, ma'am. Check, a bigger check. Yes. And so I had to figure out, how do I grow this business? And so through that, I learned in my own journey about certifications, set aside opportunities for women and minorities and veterans. I learned about how less than 1% of small businesses compete in the federal marketplace. And so I went about my own journey in that company to get in the game, and it was successful. We were able to win contracts, but then God called me to understand that I wasn't supposed to be there. That was just my training, really. So what God did really was he took my expertise from the 20-something years in corporate America and really instilled a heart in me for small businesses to grow. Because as I was going through that process, I thought, no wonder it's less than 1% participate. No wonder, because this is so confusing. This is so convoluted. It's not a whole lot of information. And I can remember many times saying to myself, man, this is for the birds. Never mind. You know, I'm not going to do this because it was just so complicated. And God spoke to me then and said, no, because if everybody gives up, then what? And so if you give up, then how are you going to teach, right? How are you going to help to pass this information along? And so ARC Business Solutions was birthed from that. It really was supposed to be something totally different. I had something totally different in mind because I came from, consulting with large corporations and, doing strategic partnerships and stuff like that. And so here I am, I'm in this space working with small business owners, and then sharing that information with them. And I will tell you, it's just been the biggest blessing, though. The journey that I've been on this past 4 years, from the beginning to now, has been just so unexpected, and it's just been such a blessing to be able to impart that information into small business owners so that they can grow the way major corporations grow, because they've got the resources and the people to hire, to get them the information and to do the work. And small businesses just don't many times. So, yep.
Wow. That's interesting.
Right.
What services do you all provide with ARC Solutions?
So we provide certification services. So if you are a small business or even a mid-sized business, and you're looking to grow, and you fit into a certain socioeconomic background. So if you're a minority, or if you're a woman, or if you're a veteran, then we help them achieve certifications. We do that on a one-on-one basis with some clients, because some clients have the financial means to be able to just hand us and say, hey, we want you to take care of this for us, and we're going to go on and continue to grow this business. You handle this. And then we also do, we started 2 years ago doing reduced cost workshops. And the reason why we started doing the reduced cost workshops is because many small business owners didn't have the financial means to be able to swing our professional services, right? I mean, so you've got some small businesses who are up and going and they've got the money, and then you've got others who really want to be in a position to grow, but they couldn't really swing our fees. And so we started the reduced cost workshops. And so those people, they attend a 4-hour workshop. We pour into them, and really it's my favorite, because they get more value. They get a workshop, and at the end of the workshop, about 60 days after that, we actually deliver and complete their certification for them. It's a trade-off. You come and learn some stuff, and we're going to tell you some things that you need to do. And while you're doing the stuff that you're supposed to be doing, we're going to take that part that's so confusing and frustrating. We're going to complete that for you.
Oh, wow. Girl, go sit in your workshop, Quinn.
Come on, join us.
Okay, so we're talking about government contracts, but we're not going to assume that everybody knows what a government contract is. Right. So can you break down in layman terms, like, why would somebody want to be able to, bid or compete, or to be able to be certified to get government contracts?
Right, yeah. So let's look at it this way. The federal government is literally the world's largest purchaser of goods and services. The federal government, they don't make anything. They buy everything. Everything they need, they buy, right? So if they need paper, they buy from paper. If they need landscape, if they need their grass cut, if they need the building cleaned, if they need IT services, they need computers, they need classes to be taught on time management to the hundreds of thousands of government employees. I mean, it is so many things that the government buys, goods and services alike, that I would tend to tell you that just about every small business, no matter what they offer, a lot of times is purchased by the federal government. And so that is the reason why you need to be competing, because think about it. If the federal government, who is the world's largest, not the nation's largest, I said the world's largest purchaser of goods and service, and I'm telling you that they don't make anything, they go buy everything, then that tells you that there's a lot. I mean, we're talking trillions of dollars. And by law, 23% of that is supposed to go to small business vendors. That's about $250 something billion every year that's supposed to go to small business vendors. But small business vendors are not competing. So you got less than 1%. So you know what? Here's how I say it. Instead of you competing with everybody else, go and educate yourself, get your certifications so that you can just compete against 1%. Right? Who wouldn't want to compete just against 1%?
Right. Y'all heard them.
You heard me.
That's some real important information.
It's very important. Very, very important. And today the topic was really laying the foundation. And as you see for each actual guest, that's what it is. But again, she just said it. Like, the government need every service and product that most people have to offer.
Right.
And then I don't know if y'all caught it. And I'm just touching bases with it because we need to, as business people, we need to know the terminology of the different things out here. She said B2C. Most people don't know B2C is business to consumer. Most small businesses are business to consumer businesses. A lot of you anyway, when you really can be business to business, which that's what check is. And again, I've been in business for 13 years and I'm just getting it myself. So that's why it's so important that we understand. And then B to G, right? So from my understanding, just breaking in layman terms, that, you know, if you go out here and compete with the 1% and your particular business, like for instance, use my little brother. My little brother do flooring, right? Okay, I am 100% gonna push him. He's 25 years old to go get certified in certain areas so that he can compete, so that he can be doing contracts with the government. In turn, what that does is you're in that 1% because you have a contract with the government. You now can go out and you can do contracts with other people. And then it's just a world circle of being able to fuel the economy and help other small businesses. And so that's, to me, why it's so important. And we're not taught that. Like, people do not tell us that. And so that's why, to me, Amy is very important, because she knows the actual steps to get there. And so many people don't, or they're not going to give you the information. Yeah. Right?
I want to, and if you don't mind, I do want to say this. So, B2B and B2G. We're talking government contracts, but let's talk about B2B. There are corporations who have the same kind of initiative. So we do both. We work with both types of clients, where you may be a business owner and you've been working B2B. But understand, major corporations like Coca-Cola, Delta Airline, all of these huge corporations, they purchase things too. They purchase a lot of stuff in the millions and millions of dollars. And so they also have programs that they have set aside where they want to do business with small businesses. They want to do business with minorities and women. They want to, but we are not represented. So when they go and they look for, and they have what's called diversity in procurement. Procurement is buying, right? So they have diversity in procurement, meaning they have full initiatives and websites set up so that they can try to get small businesses who are minorities or women to come and to pitch to them. But we are not leveling up. So we are here, and the goal of ARC Business Solutions is to get people to start thinking on a higher level, level it up, because there's so much more, and you're going to work just as hard, right, working and getting and going after that B2C, right? You're going to, how many calls, Lord, and how many times you got to send the invoice, and how many. But if you can level up and start doing business with other businesses and governmental agencies, I promise you, you're going to spend the same, if not less, amount of time, and your checks will be larger.
Yeah, those checks be a little larger.
Right. So it's basically like how we say network. Yes. That's a way larger network than what we look at with networking with people. That's networking with millions.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
So, tell the viewers how we just talked about networking. So tell the viewers how building relationships and networking has enhanced your career in these government contracts.
Yeah. It's instrumental. Like truly, you really have to be open to networking and meeting people, connecting with people. You can't remain in a bubble as a small business owner. Even when I first launched as a small business owner, when I told you I spent 23 years in corporate America, high level. I was in high level in my corporation. I had hundreds of people under me. And even for me, when I started as an entrepreneur, I had to get out there and I had to network because my circle had changed. My target market had changed. Thank God I'm able to leverage a lot of those relationships that I had already with major corporations, people who work with those major corporations. But getting out there and building those relationships meeting people, telling your story, just having genuine conversations. And even when I was in corporate America and I was, in charge of creating multi-million-dollar strategic partnerships with these other companies, it was about relationship building. It was about, they liked me. Okay. They liked my being genuine. Right? I mean, obviously they liked the service that we were offering as another company, as another Fortune 500 company. We're looking to partner. It made sense for them business-wise. But what they really liked was they liked me and the relationship that we were able to build. And that's how I was able to sustain those contracts for long periods of time. And really, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just doing it in the small business arena, which to me is much more satisfying. So building relationships is key. Truly.
You gave a lot of nuggets. So before we even get out of here, what I want you to do, if you can, as simply as you can, because I know it can get kind of intense and a lot of people might not understand. So what I see with especially small business, now one thing about small business is, we call ourselves small businesses, but according to the government, small business is, a lot of times it's looked at as something else, certain revenue, different things like that. But that doesn't mean that you don't qualify as a small business to be able to compete with the other companies as far as bidding on contracts. But what we found is when we talk about the foundational part, right, that most small businesses don't, a lot of people go in business, they don't even want to go get a business license or, they don't want to register with the state, right. Just different things like that. So give them some things that they should be doing or have in their business, even before they even try to come get your services, because at the end of the day, if they don't have certain things, you got to get there first before you come over here. All right?
Right. Yes, that is a sticking point of mine. Like, we can be kind of raggedy sometimes as small business owners, right? And so we just got to get better.
Right.
So the minimum things that you have to have as a small business owner, you need to be registered and current with the state that you're registered in, Secretary of State. You need your EIN number. You don't have to be in business for any particular length of time, so that's wonderful. And you need a Dun and Bradstreet number, but many of our clients did not have a Dun and Bradstreet number when we first started working with them, and we get one assigned to them. We have a service that we do it. Actually, that's included in our certification services. But at the very minimum, you need to be registered, you need to have your EIN, and then we can work with you. Now, beyond that, you need a capability statement. There's so much, right? If you go out and you're looking, if you're an individual and you're looking for a job, would you go out there looking for a job without your resume?
Right. So many people do it now, though. The new era, the new era does that.
Really, they go out looking for a job without a resume? That's crazy to me. Well, even online, you got to build a profile, right? Well, that's a resume. Well, a small business owner, you should have a capability statement. That's really a one-pager. It's like your business's resume. And we teach all of those things in the workshop. So that's why I love the workshop, because even though it's reduced cost, it is, to me, is way more valuable than our one-on-one services, because we teach and we talk about all those things that so many people as small business owners have never thought about and didn't even know they needed. And so, that's just at a minimum what they need. And then we share a whole lot more just in terms of laying a good, strong foundation as they go through the process with us.
I love it. So before we get out of here,
right,
you got to tell them how they can get in touch with you. And I know a lot of my homies out here that's watching this show, all y'all talk about is government contracts. And this is the lady I've been mentioning. So y'all need to get in touch with her. So tell them how they can find you, and then tell them, like, if I don't know if you have any workshops coming up soon, but for 2020, if they decide they want to attend some workshops, how can they attend some?
Awesome. So we do our workshops every month. Every single month, nationwide. On social media, you can follow us at ARC Business Solutions on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And of course, our email support at arcanswers.com. You can always email us Phone number 404-973-2020. We have a workshop every single month. Bless you.
Thank you.
Every single month, reduced cost workshop, and we do cap it at 10. And we have them nationwide. So, and we're going to have another one in November, and we're going to have another one in December. So we've got 2 more before the end of this year. So if you've been thinking about doing it and you've given yourself and said, hey, you know, this is something I want to accomplish in 2019, you've got 2 more months to get it done.
Yes, because you know we are getting you ready for 2020, and I mean that was just so much amazing information.
It was, man.
Like you really needed to have the whole time.
She really did. Like she really, really, really did. Like she did.
Well, I'll be happy to come back.
But okay, with 2020 we're gonna bring it back.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So it's my birthday.
Yes.
Thank you for celebrating my birthday
Happy
with
birthday.
me. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And so for anybody just out there, thank you. So for anybody out there, if y'all want to give me something for my birthday, right? Let me tell y'all what y'all can do. Me and Deontay have a nonprofit organization where we are getting ready in actually 20 days, December the 15th, to throw our 11th annual toy giveaway and dinner where we feed 1,000 people and give away 1,000 toys. So if you would like to give me anything for my birthday, you can do it right now. If you don't have it right now, do it in the next couple of days. But give $11 cash out R4YD, or you can PayPal.me/Reach for Your Dreams Inc. Your $11 is gonna go to a lot of people. We're gonna be able to give a toy. We're gonna be able to feed some people, and then we actually do big giveaways as well. So some adults will be able to benefit off of the event as well. And you know, if you're looking for me, you can find me at Gwen Business Corner at any time. But outside of that, you can find me on all social media outlets at Gwinnetta Wright. And I forgot I do have a website. So go to www.gwinnettawright.com. Tell them how to find you, sugar.
Well, you can find me at all social media outlets at The Real Deontay B. And I mean, we have had an amazing show.
Yes.
And you know, you have to blow out your candles when we get offset.
Yes.
But I want you to just take 2 seconds and close your eyes.
Okay.
And I want you to just make your birthday wish while everybody is saying happy birthday, Gwen, because we love you here on the corner.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And we wish you many more birthdays.
Happy birthday.
Getting very, very old where we can walk around on our canes.
Did she say
and wear our
very
beaver
old?
hats with our high heels on that we can't hardly walk in at the age of 90.
Okay, y'all, since you being extra. But anyway, we are out of here. We'll see you on the first Monday on Fox 54. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.